All right, let's jump right in with a quick news brief on a really significant development in corporate AI. We're going to look at one company's massive success story that might just be the blueprint for how businesses everywhere start integrating this tech. So, the headline number here is huge. We're talking 93%. That is the percentage of employees at this company who are actively using their internal AI tool every single month. And look, we're not talking about some small pilot program here. This is full-blown company-wide adoption. It's kind of staggering. So, the big question, the one you're probably asking right now, is how in the world did they pull that off? Well, the answer is this fascinating story that really breaks down into two key parts, one about security and the other about a very smart approach to company culture. Okay, so first things first, before they could do anything else, they had to solve the biggest hurdle for pretty much any business looking at AI, and that's security. Before you can get people to actually use a tool, you have to make them and the company feel totally safe doing it. You see, at the beginning, things were kind of chaotic. It was a bit of a free-for-all. Employees were using all sorts of different AI tools, but nobody really knew what was safe. There was this deep uncertainty about what data you could put in, and there were no clear rules. And that hesitation, it wasn't just slowing things down. It was creating some serious business and privacy risks. So they completely flipped the script. They brought in what's called an enterprise-grade AI platform. The easiest way to think about this is like a secure private sandbox, a place where all the company data stays inside and doesn't leak out to train public models. By setting up these clear internal rules and really strong security controls, they went from that world of risk and guesswork to one of real confidence and control. But here's the part that's really wild, the part that makes the story so interesting. How did they get to that 93% number? They didn't force anyone. Seriously. There was no big top-down mandate saying, you must use this. The growth was completely organic, and it was all driven by this really clever culture-first playbook. And this strategy was just a masterclass. First, they let teams choose their own AI tools, because hey, a marketing team needs something different than an engineering team, right? Then, they made a big deal out of success stories. They shared them everywhere, creating this social proof that made other people want to jump in. They also built a system of proactive support. And finally, they offered non-stop training for everyone, from absolute beginners in AI 101 to advanced workshops for the real power users. And get this, that proactive support even got automated in a super clever way. They built a bot that would ping inactive users on Slack. Now, this wasn't about policing them. It was about helping. The bot would just ask why they weren't using the tool and then offer up personalized suggestions for their specific job. The key was it felt like support, not surveillance. Okay, so they nailed the security, they built this amazing culture of support, but did it actually work? What was the real, measurable impact on people's daily jobs? Well, it turns out it was about way more than just working faster. It was about working better. And you can really hear the impact in this quote from one of the company's developers. They said the AI started to feel like a reliable partner. I mean, think about that. They stopped seeing it as just a tool. It wasn't just spitting out code. It was actually supporting their entire workflow, from the first design ideas all the way to the final check. And this wasn't just a feeling, right? The coding teams reported really specific benefits. The AI helped them pressure test their designs, which led to higher quality work. It helped the whole team get aligned before a single line of code was written, which, as you know, cuts down on a ton of rework. And it even helps create a clear reason for why decisions were made, so everyone could move forward with way more confidence. So let's pull back for a second. What does this all really mean for the bigger picture? Well, this whole success story suggests that we're moving past the simple adoption of AI. We're entering a brand new phase, fundamentally redesigning the way work itself gets done, with AI at the center of it all. And that leaves us with one massive question, doesn't it? Is this kind of incredible company-wide adoption just a temporary boom, a passing trend that's just fueled by all the hype? Or are we actually looking at a true turning point for how businesses are going to operate from now on? Well, if you ask the company, the answer couldn't be clearer. For them, this isn't some phase. All the evidence points to a new standard being set. AI is no longer just another item in the corporate toolbox. It's becoming the new foundation, the actual platform on which modern work is being built. And that kind of leaves us all to wonder, who's going to be next to build on it?